Hey guys, you're watching Mia's new pair of glasses, and the topic of today's video is the truth behind pet food and the corrupt system that works hand in hand together to scam the public, deplete your finances, and cause medical issues for your pets. The day that you bring home a new pet can be a magical day, but if you are not educated on how to care for that pet and the system with which you are up against, you are going to cause health problems for your pet at minimum and possibly contribute to their death. Today, 40% of dogs are obese, 46% of dogs and 39% of cats now die of cancer. Heart, kidney, and liver disease are an epidemic. Like people, dogs are what they eat. Save your dog a lot of suffering and yourself a fortune in vet bills by learning the truth about your dog's diet. So in today's video, we're going to start off with the financial influence and talk about how this happens and what kind of money is behind the pet food industry. The U.S. pet food market is set to reach $27 billion in 2018. And like I talk about in every video, with that kind of money, you have a lot of influence and there is a lot at stake for these companies. So they're going to do whatever they can to control the information that gets out to the public. The ASPCA estimates that nearly 70 to 80 million dogs and upward of 96 million cats live in American homes. With a canine population so large, it's no wonder that the pet food industry is worth over $24 billion. With so many dogs and cats relying on the pet food industry for nutritious meals, it might be all too easy to assume the pet food ingredients on the big name or recommended brands are high quality. That assumption would be dead wrong. Now we're going to talk about why vets push the food that they do. Well, it gives them repeat business. No business can survive without repeat customers. Now let's talk about the dangerous chemicals and ingredients in store-bought dog food. So the first is carrageenan. Carrageenan is a common ingredient in dairy products, meats, baby formula, and, you guessed it, dog and puppy food. Carrageenan acts as a thickener and stabilizer in over 70% of canned dog foods in the market. Despite the fact it is sourced from red seaweed, carrageenan adds no nutritional value. Why is it dangerous? In 2009, a study reported that carrageenan initiates inflammation in the intestines of animals. Next, we have ethoxysin. Monsanto manufactures ethoxysin as a preservative used to prevent the fat content of dog food from becoming rancid. Interestingly, this preservative is also used as a pesticide in pear orchards. Why is it dangerous? While banned in the European Union, ethoxysin continues to cause health problems for pets in America. Side effects from consuming ethoxysin include liver damage, kidney damage, thyroid damage, allergic reactions, reproductive issues, leukemia, birth defects, and cancerous tumors. Next, we have BHT. Manufacturers in the food and beauty industries incorporate BHT as a safeguard against rancification. Why is it dangerous? In 2011, Chemico-Biological Interactions published the results of a study conducted by the Pharmaceutical Department of the University of Colorado, which showed that BHT directly led to inflammation in the lungs and increased tumor growth, particularly in the liver. Next, we have propylene glycol. Propylene glycol, a preservative, is also included in canned dog food because it retains water, keeping the food moist. Why is it dangerous? The FDA prohibits the use of propylene glycol in cat food because it damages the red blood cells, yet it is still present in dog food. This preservative also causes intestinal blockage and lesions in the stomach. While the FDA contends that BHA is safe at low doses, the repetitious diet of dog food with BHA has a cumulative effect on the dog. The Office of Environmental Health Hazard Assessment of the state of California found that in lab studies, cancerous tumors consistently grew in the presence of BHA. BHA also halts the blood clotting process. Next, we have corn syrup. Corn, among other grains, is used as a filler in both cat and dog food, while corn syrup sweetens the food, making it more palatable. Why is it dangerous? Cats and dogs tolerate grains, but meat should compromise the majority of pet food because cats and dogs are carnivores. Corn and grain byproducts become unhealthy additions because there is little quality control over these ingredients. Like the meat byproducts, the corn in pet food is not held to the same standards of human consumption and therefore can be moldy or otherwise inedible. The presence of mold creates mycotoxins, which is the #1 cause of pet food recalls. Next, we have meat byproducts. Rendered meat byproducts consist of waste products from the food industry, livestock that died of disease or age, expired grocery store meats, and remnants left over from restaurants are 3 examples of waste products present in byproducts. Byproducts that do not specifically list which animal the waste came from is likely to contain beaks, bones, feet, and other organs from a mix of animal species. Why is it dangerous? Because pet food companies include diseased animals and condemned animal parts in byproducts. There is a high risk for toxic ingredients including traces of the euthanasia drug, fungus, bacterial pathogens, and free radicals. Next, we have xylitol. Xylitol, a sugar alcohol, is a commonly used sweetener in sugar-free products such as gum, candy, and toothpaste. Xylitol exists naturally in fruits and vegetables. However, xylitol extracted for use in food and oral health products is derived from corn cobs. Why is it dangerous? It is well known that xylitol caused hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, in dogs. However, a recent study by the ASPCA indicated that severe liver damage is associated with xylitol consumption. Because xylitol is becoming more present in human food and snacks, it is even easier for a dog to ingest xylitol. How you can know if your dog is suffering symptoms of some of these ingredients that are found in dog food is through the following. If you suspect your dog has ingested any food containing these ingredients, keep a journal of any suspicious symptoms and contact your dog's veterinarian. However, use caution with veterinarians. The things you want to watch for include increased thirst, increased urination, extreme fatigue and weakness, swelling anywhere on the body, jaundice, indigestion, and stomach pain. Now we're going to talk about some of the myths and facts regarding what you should feed your pet. What you should know is commercial dog food is fast food. Heavily processed fast foods, burgers, fries, tacos, etc., as a big diet component can cause major health problems in people. How can fast food be good for dogs? Like we talked about earlier, don't presume the food your vet sells is a superior product. Veterinarians, like medical doctors, learn relatively little about nutrition in school. Much of what they do learn comes directly from pet food company vets, sales reps, articles, studies, and seminars. The quality of processed commercial food is suspect. Dog food may legally contain 4D meat from dead, dying, diseased, and disabled animals. Add a little roadkill, mill floor sweepings, labeled as grain, and corn contaminated with high levels of pesticides, and you have a recipe for ill health. The cheaper the food, the cheaper the ingredients, the worse the nutrition. Corn kills. Most kibble is loaded with corn, a cheap filler. Unfortunately, the corn isn't the luscious kind you and I eat. It's feed corn, like cattle eat, or even cheap feed corn remnants. Even cornmeal dust counts as corn. The corn may even have been condemned for human consumption, there being no upper level of pesticide contamination for pet foods. If that weren't bad enough, corn, which gives us both high fructose corn syrup and corn oil, is fattening. Any wonder why so many dogs are obese and suffering from diabetes? So now we're going to talk about what the food industry has done. Food producers have taken out all the good byproducts of wheat that humans need for consumption and put it in dog food products, and the pet can't process it. So they've had a double whammy on humans and dogs by using this process regarding wheat. And imagine this before your dog food even hits the store. The lawsuit issued 1 week ago for Beneful, a national best-selling food, is a prime example of why kibble is potentially unhealthy. Dry dog and cat food is made in enormous-sized batches. Train car loads of individual ingredients are delivered to the pet food plants. Imagine for a moment you are standing next to a train car filled with corn gluten, a commonly used source of protein in pet food. The gluten is the byproduct after the corn is processed for human consumption. How long do you imagine that gluten sat before it was loaded into the train car? How long did it take for that train car to travel to the pet food factory? What about the rodents and insects that like to eat grain? How do we keep those out of a train car? You are correct. A toxic chemical is spread on top of the feed ingredients in the train car to keep out the pests. Reportedly, the toxins break down before being mixed into the giant 5,000-pound feed mixing bowl at the pet manufacturing plant. And let's look at a few other hazards of kibble that I've encountered in my patients over the last couple years. For many dogs and cats, it's highly processed food and it is very hard to digest. For some pets, it creates stomach ulcers. For others, it can lead to intestinal bleeding. For many cats, dry food eventually contributes to kidney disease and shortened lives. For some, the pretty colors lead to allergic reactions. For others, the ingredients can cause hot spots and ear infections. So basically, as discussed earlier in the video, they've used our pets as garbage disposals. So let's talk now about what you should be feeding your dog specifically. The first thing you need to know is no store-bought food is good for dogs. Absolutely none. The next thing you need to know is they should have absolutely no carbs. Carbs break down to sugar and leads to obesity in dogs. Nothing with rice. Rice clogs their system. No rice byproducts. Dogs are carnivores. Dogs are not omnivores. They should not be eating meat and vegetables. Their wild ancestors are carnivores. Have you ever seen an obese wolf or a wolf eating a carrot? No. They should be eating like wolves. Raw meat, no veggies. And also they have a different digestive tract than humans, so there's less of a risk for them to have E. coli or salmonella. They have the same risk of getting that in dry food. But the big money behind pet food has to manipulate the media and use its typical fear tactics. Scientists criticize trend for raw meat. So we got to listen to the scientists, right? But whenever you look into feeding your pet something other than store-bought food, they're going to make sure that they put fear out there to steer people away from it. Oh yeah, guys, and organic just means the food is fertilized with human waste. And why is it so difficult to get accurate information and healthy food for your pet? Because pet food industry, veterinary industry, pharmaceutical companies, vaccinations, legislators, they all work in conjunction. It is a big racket. So this is what you need to know regarding feeding your pets, mainly your dogs. And please share this information. My videos are being suppressed. My views are being suppressed. So it's up to you to share this information. That's all I have for you guys today. Everybody stay safe. Be good to one another. And as always, God bless.